Hey guys, welcome to another edition of RunBuck on Games. I'm RunBuck, and we got another war recap for you. This time taking a look at an arranged war we actually had with a clan that was just getting into the arranged war scene, and it asked to start out with us, so we did. Their name was Sjana, and as you can see here, we ended up winning, but it was a good match all around, good fun. Had a lot of voting. Um, in this one. I mean, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12 different attacks were nominated, including one of which was from the enemy. Maybe I'll show that to you. You never know. But let's go ahead and start with the ones. And I'm not going to look at them first, so I have no clue on what I'm looking at. But maybe that'll improve my commentary. But let's first look at the attack on 3 by Darth. This was a peer attack on the Town Hall 10, I assume. Let's take a gander. See what he pulled off. It looks like a pretty nice base. Looks like a bowler attack. Okay. Starts with a nice cut. So it's a typical 4-corner base, so it's not surprising. And he's doing the I call it the Nord special. Nordar likes to do it a lot. It's that HeBo flank within the HeBo up the middle push. It's interesting. It worked well for Carlos here with just level 2 bowlers. So something that for Town Hall 10s to be thinking about is that, a lot of the attacks at Town Hall 11 really might work well if the base structures are the same. Might be a lot of correlation because there is a lot of similarities between Town Hall 10 and Town Hall 11. I mean, the Eagle really just forces a deployment style in certain situations, and then there's some differences in DPS, but that could be the factor between a level 2 and a level 4. But when you look at, I guess if we went back and we looked at this style of base and said, why does the HeBo flank, HeBo mass up the middle type work, right? So, what I think you have to consider, although it's not actually in this case, but you have to look at, for one, will your healers that you initially, because usually it's like you drop. Oh, that's kind of bad. I can't see the. Hold on. I have my new trick now that I can make bigger dots. Look at those dots, huh? Hold on a minute. Let's go to white. You guys are like, oh my God, please stop with the changing of colors. But you notice when you drop out here and you look at the ADs, for example, that even if you have usually the usual 4 bowlers and then the healer squat, it's usually 2 healers behind, is that kind of push, right? So their responsibility is to create the deeper cuts on the table so that you can then drive the core. Notice that the ADs are not going to threaten the healers that are swinging with the bowlers, because the bowlers either are going to swing out or, let's use this one, they're going to swing in. One of the two is going to happen. But in either case, the ADs themselves are not threatening really the push in, not till the healers would be about here. And if the healers are there, that means the bowlers are about here, in which case they're probably chucking at the AD. Let's take a look again at that flow. The other weird thing is when you look at his angle of attack, the vector, interesting that he chose to broadside the ADs. This is kind of an H pattern base, which means that the 2 eye towers are separated by 1 square box in the middle. And H means that you can you see the kind of H pattern that you get there when you look at it that way. But interesting that the approach that Darth did, I think that's unique to him, is that he used the 2 freezes to allow him to get into the middle and give his team time to take it out. So now with that in mind, let's take a look at it and watch it again, and then see if the things we were thinking about, like, so first of all, healer survivability, right? So we're coming in, pushing, but notice the actual ADs got taken out. One did, one didn't, right? So I don't know if Darth was trying, like, this one clearly would be a difficult chuck to get the bounce on, but I don't know if Darth was trying to or not. This side healers is taking some damage. Let's watch and see if that dies off. One dies. only one. So that's not bad. So you would, even if worst case both ADs stayed up, you might come out of it with 3 out of 5 healers still up, which isn't bad. And then as his bowlers move into mid, and they're pretty nicked up, if you saw that just that brief moment, they were all pretty nicked. He drops both freezes, and by then, look at that. That freeze allows enough time to take them both out. So it's an interesting, I haven't seen a lot of people try that broadside, but you have to get that mass on it quickly. So let's go back one more time. Let's look at the base one more time in terms of what I'm curious about is the amount of health units on the angle of attack, the vector he was using, because that would stall your attack out. Because you can't be freezing and then have the healer bowlers trying to work or chew down something over an extended period of time. So let's look at that, and then we'll go on to the next attack here for a second. Yeah, so he's got one, really, and then where did he? He's got one there, but really the other big mass items are here, here, and here. He has a town hall, but that really doesn't figure in. This doesn't really figure in because he's coming from here, so that's out of range. Yeah, he definitely. That was a word of the wise. If you put your storage in front of the AD, it gives a pretty easy shot to the back. And interesting that he did not jump through either. And I don't know if he would know that they both broke out, which was key because it took him to the eye towers. So that's strange that both focused on those two corners. No, I lied. I keep looking at this because it's just there's a lot of nuances in this that I didn't think about. So why would they both take this? Because if it hadn't done that, you might have been in core and you wouldn't have the chuck line because that's a 2 setback, so you couldn't chuck 2 with the bowlers. So you really needed the bowlers to swing out. He has it 4. This is a 3 setback right here. This is 3. And this is 3. So that's not it. That's not why it's going that way. Huh. Weird. So maybe Darth Carlos could comment on why that went that way. That's strange, but it's an interesting. I guess the takeaway for you is that when you look at those H-style bases with the Infernos separated and kind of symmetrical, a broadside might work with 2 frees if you can get the bowlers on them quickly and be confident that the bowlers will swing out. I still don't see why it swung out. 3 threes, both same gap. I guess maybe this is the reason, because this is a. Here, let's go in a little closer here. I'm trying to zoom in. Yeah, so that's a 4, and that's 2. So that's 16, 20. Square root of 20 is just shy of 5. So it's about 4.5. Okay, so still no compelling evidence for why it worked one way or the other. But enough on that base. Definitely something I would want to test more around Friendly Challenge. Or if Darth can repeat it and we can see more consistency, it might be something to think about further. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 8 next. That was Jippieh. Jippieh had this one. This is a Town Hall 9. The next 2 are Town Hall 9 attacks. Yep. So we've got. Interesting, they put the Town Hall outside. One of those bases. Haven't seen those in a while. But a nice cut. I mean, he's getting some pretty good cut action, and then he charges in. for the trigger. So overall, I like that walk. A walk that can end with the trigger and then survive, while then you come off that with the, in effect, what he's doing is coming off that with the finger of a Valk action and a king suicide running the edge here. It's a little wider than you would usually want to see. This width is a little wider than normal. But let's take a look at the middle. Maybe that's why it was all right to have that width. Yeah, sure enough. There's really not enough DP. There's not much DPS in the middle except for these two things. So could he have known that? I mean, he probably did know that because as his queen comes into this and does the trigger, he can feel pretty confident that these two things go down, leaving just this. And then his Valk action would come through because this is right here, which is closer than that. Although I wonder why he didn't think it would come this way. Oh, the bowlers, maybe? Valks push in front of the bowlers. Boom. Run out through. I guess because you can realize that the Valks are cutting on this edge, they're going to swing to this more than coming to this other one. So kind of an angle of attack thing. Valks are cutting here, they're going to move that direction. Because that's only like 2 versus this being 4. Okay. All right, but yeah, so I think, the two big things I would take out of that from Wu's attack was it was a really nice queen walk with the charge in to get the CC triggered and survive through that. And then nice modeling of the Valk movement with bowlers trailing. Last featured attack would be Yip. We just did Yip. The last featured attack is Wu, who got the most votes overall. He got 5 votes for this. Everybody just loves some Wu Boy. So let's take a look at Wu Boy's attack. What's he going to pull? Of course, it's going to be a 4Q once again. So we've been through this before. He opens up the base, gets access to Expo, 2 ADs, Air Sweeper, gets the CC trigger, and he might get the queen out. Let's see what the queen does. Has bowlers behind. He's been doing more bowlers with this lately. King would really like to get to the queen. The queen behind the king gets the queen. So that's interesting. So I'd pause right there because it's interesting. A lot of people tend to focus on, can I get the queen outside of the wall? But really what Wu was, I don't know if Wu intended it or not, but what he got was the king provided shielding for the queen that then, in response to the king being shot, took on the queen and took her out for the king. So the two together kind of pulled it off. And at that point, you've got, wow, only 1 AD's left. So that's, you can't complain about that. Once you only got 1 AD up, it's going to be a good day at the office. You got 1 hound up to lock the expo. His royals ended up dying, but look at how much that royal team ended up taking out for him. So really flowed well. And that was with both expos up. So the key seems to be with Wu's attack, it's always about 2 ADs and a sweeper and the CC and the queen off that 4Q. As long as he feels confident that he can get that, he tends to do pretty well. I'm just looking at the base one last time. Yeah, because here's the 2 ADs he thought he was going to get. Did he have 2 ADs at the beginning of his laloon? I think he did. The other interesting thing is, like, how did he know that the queen wouldn't end up here? Might have been a little different story if it was over there. Let's see if he could have predicted. Let's watch the pathing again. See if it was obvious or if there was a way to predict that the queen would be with the king at the. So he hasn't dropped them yet. King and queen is now down. So really, he's looking at a pathing that kind of would be like, well. So he needs that golem and the bowler to take that one part out. And it does. So I guess as long as you can get a team that's capable of sweeping this angle out, then your royals will dive directly at the queen. So I don't know if it was critical that he needed that to happen. The king might have been able to beat through the wall and then get to the queen. Maybe. But then once you got 2 ADs down, as long as you get the queen down, that was what he was hinging on, is that this team would get her somehow. You're all right. I guess the bowlers could have done the same job. They could have taken her out too. So good attack by Wu, no matter how you look at it. Last but not least, let's do some bonus round. Since it was such a good war, we had so many votes, I'll do 2 bonus rounds. We'll look at Wang, which was number 9 at 4 speed. Kind of an arrowhead feeling base. So we've got a HeBo coming in with, I assume, some bow action on it. Or not. Yeah, they're the bowlers. Interesting. And so that one worked because even though he had to go through the interesting part is that he didn't worry about his because he came in from 2 sides. Because what you didn't want to see is he had 2 ADs. Oops, sorry. He had 2 ADs here and here. So what you didn't want was kind of a lateral movement of his kill squad, of that HeBo group with the bowlers trailing. He wanted them to dive more directly at the stuff. There's quite a bit of DPS in that area when you look at it. So how did he ensure that? Well, I guess if you looked at the giant walk pattern, there's really nothing left in that box after he takes out that expo. So really, the only thing that thing can go for is right here. It's pretty much of a guarantee, right? And that's what ended up happening, and that keeps your healers safe because they would be trailing kind of in this pattern. So yeah, okay, I'll buy it. And then you did a little hog action to clean up this backside while the bowlers kind of poked around. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so really, actually, what Wang did there was very nice modeling or an understanding of the giant pathing and how that impacted the healer trailing and keeping that out of the grips of the AD. So nicely done. Getting long in the tooth, so let's do one more, and then we'll be done. We'll look at pizza. 4 times speed on that, so it's a narrower base. E2 is going to do a little bit of HeBo action. There's the bowlers. So he's got the nice AD in the first box, so that's kind of a good call. Also had this AD set back, so really, even though they're beating on the wall, it's not going to really impact the healer's position. This is a little closer, though, because his giants ended up kind of stuck over here, not contributing to the effort. But he had one healer that got tied in with the Royals, and it ended up being plenty. What did the time end up being on that? I forget. Did anybody see? 2:55. He had plenty of time. So another great attack. But it was a really good war. We enjoyed it with Sjana. They may fight us again sometime in the future. Other big vote getters, I guess, since everybody got a vote, we had a high five out for Paz and Stump, who had a 6-pack war, 2 wars in a row. Stump's back and to form, I guess. He's been doing pretty well down at entry-level Town Hall 9 with the variant of HeBo. Then we've got Batman had a vote on number 11, and Magnus had a vote on 10. Ohio had a vote on 14. Corey a vote on 15, and Frog a vote on 16. Oh, and then we also had Captain voted 2 times up for each of his attacks as well. Well, and I promised this little bonus round. Can I find it, though? It was the enemy team. Ellen was like straight out awesome. And the person that plays Ellen's account, it's one of those classic, the wife quit playing, the husband's playing, I believe. May be coming to JTJ. We'll see. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. We'll say replay. How do I do that? There we go. Replay 1. So it's a secret bonus round. This attack was amazing because it's a number 30 with pretty low heroes, 16, 18 heroes, taking out a max level Town Hall 9. So even though I usually won't show bases of our bases, we're going to go ahead and do it this time. Plus, how many of our enemies are going to actually watch 20 minutes into one of our war recaps? If you are, you deserve to get Woo Boy if he puts his base up. Let's see what she did. Or he did. Or whoever's playing Ellen did. So really good patience with the queen walk. Getting down the edge there for the cut. And a little bit of nibbling up here with some external units. But notice the patience in a variety of ways to establish the finger that then can move the Valks. And then just powering through. And then this nice surgical hog to keep the Valks internal. And not have them pop out. We all hate when the Valks move outside. Oh, there they did it anyway. But just a lot of different pieces that were working together that enabled that hit up and really made it more about the, if we played it again, it made it more about the Valk strength than the Royals, because the Royals weren't going to carry the day on this. They could just be used for kind of external cuts, right? Because that's basically what happened. Queen was coming around, so as you sit there and look at boom, 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 through rage, both royals down, again, bang, healers on, through, hogs take out the AD on the back. So just a nice combination of Valk action with spell support, then with the hogs coming around on the outside to push back in. So good job, Ellen, or whoever you are. All right, guys, that does it for this war recap. I guess we'll see you the next time we get one up. Talk to you guys later.
What am I gonna do? My clan sucks. Hey, it's JTJ.
I think that's an all-out attack.
No, it's the legendary JTJU. JTJU. What? I like my horn. You and this army. Download Clash of Clans for free. Then subscribe to JTJU and win.